Make it part of your day. All right, WMAP Radio is Capriana. So I have none ella talk show host Naomi Johnson on the phone with us today. Naomi,
Yes.
what is going on?
Oh, girl, there's a lot going on. There's a lot going on.
Well, thank you for coming on WMAP Radio today.
Thank you for having me. I greatly appreciate it.
So let's get started. So before we got on air, we were talking a little bit about what you do. So, for my listeners that are just tuning in right now, just give us background about yourself.
Yes, well, I'm a talk show host at Princeton TV. The name of the talk show is called Naila, and Naila comes from my son, who was a hip hop artist. So when he sung and he rapped, he would say Naila, which is his tagline. So he has a brand under Naila, and I'm a former teacher. I went to college at Ramapo College, Essex County College, as well as Ashford University. I stay in school. And yes, and I'm a self-published author of a poetry book I did, which is on Amazon. What else? I'm a mother of the late Shawn Johnson, a.k.a. Shawn Mason, which was his stage name. And what else? It is a host of We'll Be Healed. There's a lot about me that I do.
Well, you do a number of incredible things. So, you have a talk show. You are an author. So, what was the reasoning behind creating a show called None Illa Talk Show?
Well, the reason behind the show for me creating is to give people like me who lost their loved ones by a deadly bus driver or train, and give them a platform to share their story, because every time there's a lot of people being killed in New Jersey by a reckless bus driver, and the politician, transit president, they're not doing anything about it. You can Google it. This is not alleged. This is all online. And so by me calling Channel 7 and tell them I want to give them an update on my son's case of the corruption and the cover-up,
right?
They the guy from Channel 7 oh, well, you know what? It happened all the time in New Jersey. We don't cover all of them. That's very disheartening when you say something like that, as if these lives doesn't mean anything. So I was asked to come on a talk show in Brooklyn in the community cable. And as I was there, the host, she was saying to me when I shared my story, she said, "Dad, why don't you do your own?" I say, "Do my own what?" She said, "Your own talk show, be your own producer." I'm like, "How can I do all of that? Doesn't cost money and everything?" She said, "No." So I was in Brooklyn. We spoke to the people in Brooklyn. They're like, "Oh, you can't do it because you got to be a resident," so forth and so on. I said, "Okay." So the manager, not the manager, I guess it's like the director of the community cable, he said, "Well, if you could find some studio and do the show, we can air it in Brooklyn." So he connected me.
Wow.
He said, "Well, let me connect you to my former boss who's in Manhattan Cable with the Manhattan Community Cable." So he connected me to him, and he said the same thing. You got to be a resident in Manhattan. So what he did, he connected me to somebody in Montclair. And so the person in Montclair, New Jersey, and the person in Montclair, New Jersey, I'm like, I would like to do a talk show because all these lives was taken. As you know, my son was killed. So the guy said, "Yeah, I know." And I said, "My son was a hip-hop artist." He said, "Yes, I know that too." I'm like, "Okay, now who am I speaking to?" He said, "Yeah, it was on the news." So I shared with him. He said, "Well, you can go to Princeton TV. Princeton TV, they have the community cable there." So that's how I wound up being there, and I gave them what I wanted to do. Because again, Naila, my son created a Naila blog, and I'm carrying on his mission statement pretty much. I just added the people who lost their loved one onto it, and his mission statement is: we bring news, we bring fashion, and we bring whatever you want to the internet. So I said, well, let me take all this from the internet into the TV. And
wow.
That's why with the cable, the woman who, the host, she the one who talked me into doing it, which I didn't have any. I'm like, I don't want to do that. I'm still fighting for justice. Writing to the politicians, very brain is washed, just draining. And so once I got to the talk show, Princeton Television, I spoke to the director, the overseer, and I shared my story. And he like, I like the story. I would like you to be a part of Princeton Cable TV to do your show. And he said, you need to get out there. And I shared what I shared with you about Channel 7. He said, you know what? If you can't get Channel 7 or the newspapers to carry out your story, he said, you create your own media. And he like, I want you not only do your talk show, I also want you to do a podcast as well. He said, I want you to touch TV and radio. And so that's how I got into doing the talk show for Naila Talk Show.
Yeah, those are actually the biggest things right now. A podcast is extremely popular.
Yes.
I feel like everyone that I know listens to a podcast on their way to work, or just even being in the car. So a podcast is definitely something really booming right now that you should definitely get into. That's a great idea. So where will we be able to find Naila, the show?
The Naila Talk Show is on Princeton Cable Television, and I also have on YouTube, is on Dailymotion, is on Vimeo, and what I also did, I created a Roku stream channel, and Naila has a Naila Entertainment Roku channel.
Wow. So would you say that that your show is also a good place for people that are experiencing, the same hardships in life that you experience? Is it good for them to come and listen to your show, to be able to connect with someone in a way as well?
Yes, it is. It's a good show for not just people who traveling the same is painful, unfortunate community, the grieving community, and the mothers who lost their loved one. Or it's a painful thing. But yes, not only that, I also have people who promote their book. And I recently had a guest who was he was a songwriter for Pat Benatar. And he was on my show, on the Naila show. So, I mean, it's a good platform for other different people walk of life who wants to listen to something different. Or
Of course. And you know what? Before we actually got on air, we were talking about, is there actually a difference between losing a child and losing another loved one?
it is a big difference. My brother, who I was very close to and was, we was very close, and unfortunately, in 1992, he got shot. And, of course, his life had ended. And it was in an area as we was growing up. And, as children, when we move out that area, we always come back to see our friends. So it was in 92, so he would go visit his friends. Unfortunately, somebody wound up going after his friend. And it's like when you're around, I guess like a clique. If they can't get to that person, they get to the next person who they're close to. And so that's pretty much what happened to my brother.
So the feeling that you got from when your brother passed away, and then from the feeling that you got from when your son passed away, it was a complete different feeling.
Very much so. My grandmother, who had transitioned as well in 2000, I was close to her, but, it's no different. I thought I just wanted to just die when my brother got killed, because he was close to me. And my grandmother, she pulled the catheter out of her chest because she was dealing with Alzheimer. And I heard, but the pain of my son is a totally different feeling. I mean, I barely can get up. I get people to drive me to the talk show because of what I'm going through with my son. The attorney I had, he showed me like pictures of my son remains all over the place, and it just devastates me. So I can't really drive. Every time I look at the wheel, I cry. And the pain is still going, even though people would go on YouTube, see me doing the show, they will think I'm strong, but it's not. We all wear a a mask or camouflage or be like
Right.
chameleons and trying to blend in. But in closed doors, it's a different story.
So what is one of the first steps that someone can take when they first lose a loved one?
What is the first step? Well, I said to people, everybody culpability is different. Everybody grieve differently because every mother, they are not close to their child, and every child is not close to their mother. And I saw that firsthand as being a former teacher, how some of these mothers wasn't close to their child. So as far as the step, it's just, it varies. It varies. I would say, I'm not saying accept it because you can't really accept it, and it all depends on how that child's life has been taken. And
Right.
so when a person loses their child during illness, it's like preparation. You have to say your goodbye. But when your child look at you and say, "I'll be back," and you get a call and never come back, and when you know your child was like, because what it is was blatantly murdered. The guy ran over my son twice and then dragged him. So what step can I get over it? I don't know if there's a step that I can get over. I mean, you could go to your professional therapist, as a psychologist or a therapist. And
And even that, I mean, everybody grieves in different ways, and like even with what you said, you can go to a therapist and you can talk all you want, but I mean, everybody just copes with losing a loved one, and especially losing a child in different ways. And that's not going to be easy, and you're never going to, you know, get over anything like that. Of course, so that's a feeling that I could never feel. But I mean, with what you're doing, you created the show. I mean, you're a fashion designer. I mean, you're doing so many incredible things, and you keep going. Once you stop, that's when that's that's. I mean, you got to keep going when it comes to these things. So as long as you keep going and doing things that are making you feel good, and you're never going to forget your son. I mean, you have a show. It's called None Illa Talk Show. So I mean, he's always going to be there with you, whether he's here in person or if he's here in spirit. So you are definitely one of the strongest women that I have ever spoken with. And you truly are one of the world's most amazing people. So I want to thank you so much for coming on our WMAP radio show.
I thank you for having me. I greatly appreciate it. And like I said, Naila is not really my brand. Naila is my son's brand. My brand is called Soulity.
Right.
SOULLAITY. That's my brand. So I didn't start Naila. I'm really just carrying on, and I'm building on to it because he already started before what happened to him. So I'm building on to his legacy. Everything was in place. Only thing I add was to have the platform for people like me who lost their loved one to come and share their story, because there's no other talk show like that. People somehow think like talking about death is like voodoo, a taboo, should I say, and trying to stay away from it, And I have a segment that I was interview two guests, for Passionate Friend who lost their daughter and son. And we talk about anybody who's listening, and, if you want to know things, what to say and not to say to a grieving parent, that's also on the Naila Talk Show on YouTube. Because some people don't know what to say when you dealing with someone who lost especially their child. So people give people platitudes and cliches, religion's platitude, but that doesn't help. I mean, I'm not saying I'm not against God, but all the prayer and everything, it just it doesn't help.
Well, this show that you have, I mean, there's people out there that are experiencing many different things in this world. So sometimes it's good to be able to tune into a show or speak to another person that is experiencing what they are experiencing, so they don't feel alone. That's one of the biggest things that happens in this world. You know, people experience these horrible events in their life, and they feel alone and isolated because they think that they're the only ones that are experiencing it. So to be able to create a show and let the legacy of your son live on. I mean, it's truly remarkable what you are doing, and you are definitely helping many other people out there by doing this. So we are just about out of time. So Naomi, what would be a good way for us to find more information about you, and where can we find None Illa, the talk show?
You can find that Illa Talk Show, like I said, on Facebook. And I also started the Shawn Johnson College Scholarship. The college that he attended started a scholarship in his name, King University. So you can also email Naillah Talk Show, NONEILLAH Talk Show at gmail.com. Or you can go on Facebook. Naillah Show is on Facebook. So pretty much if you Google Naillah, you'll see it. Naillah Collection, you'll see the designs that I created. And you Google my son music, Shawn Kais Mason. He's like all on his music in all the main music streams from Spotify, you name it, Amazon, iTunes, iHeartRadio. So there's a
All
lot
right.
there.
Thank you so much, Naomi. I wanna let my listeners know one more time. So the way you spell Nonella is NONEILLAH. Find that on Facebook. Take a look at our talk show. Naomi Johnson is truly such an incredible person. So, Naomi, I want to thank you so much again for coming on here and telling your story.
Thank you. I thank you for having me and my son spiritually here to share our story. And like I said, you can go on YouTube as well. Thank you.
And for YouTube, we can just type in Nonella
Talk show.
Nonella Talk Show.
Because
You heard her, guys. So
if you go to Naillah Entertainment, you'll see a different part.
All right, you heard her. So definitely check out the YouTube channel as well as Nonella Talk Show. Once again, we have Naomi Johnson on the phone with us. Naomi, I hope you have a great weekend now, okay?
You do
Thank you
the
for coming
same.
on.
Thank you. Take care.
All right, take care now. Bye-bye.
Bye.